Second half.
Forget about it.
Second half magic.
Okay.
And we have some really good shit.
We do. Double fisting.
Not saying we didn't have bad stuff last time, but I'm excited.
Well, you know what? So, dudes like us listeners out there, we sample bourbons on the first and second half, and we let folks know how we feel about the things that we're sampling. We have a special guest with us tonight. For those just picking up the second podcast, Dudes Like Us is on October 10th, 2024. We have Garrison Brothers, a representative here. Thank you, Mr. Producer, for staying on top of stuff. Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I'm Jeff.
I'm James.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Dudes Like Us -podcast. And for those woodcrafting swag stuff you want, for the woodcrafting stuff you need in your house, that's Dudes Like Us -woodcraft.
One thing I want to talk about, I sent you guys a video of it earlier because you said October 10th, and that got me thinking. 10-10.
10-10 wins.
10-10, so that's XX, right?
Ooh.
And there's a
Roman numerals.
There's a new sports apparel company out there called XX-XY.
Yes, chromosomes.
And they're specifically for
Men and women.
Men and women, correct.
Yeah.
And
It's a great ad.
the ad they put out, if you can find it, if not, I can play it on my phone. It's an outstanding ad. Basically, they're calling out Nike.
Oh, I've seen. You sent that earlier?
Yes, yeah.
He did.
And it's a bunch of girls. Here, if you can't find it, I'll pull it up. And it's using Nike's tagline, "Just do it."
Just do it.
And it's
Meaning just stand up for women.
yeah, stand up for women, right? And let me see if I can find it real quick. And it's an outstanding. It's well done. It's simple.
It's not angry.
It's in the girls' voices. Here we go. I got it. I'll play it.
Dear Nike,
Dear Nike, why won't you stand up for me?
why won't you stand up for me? Why won't you?
Why do you claim to support women and girls? Yet when we need you most,
You remain silent.
Today, males are claiming our identity.
our sports,
Our spaces.
men and boys are stealing opportunities, medals, trophies, and our future.
It is not fair or just.
In fact, it's often dangerous. Yet you refuse to use your platform to stand up.
You say you're for social justice and progress.
So why do you allow men's rights to come before ours? See, with a big platform,
Comes an even bigger responsibility.
you have a chance to do the right thing, not just do the easy thing.
Dude.
So we're asking you, Nike.
So we're asking you, Nike,
That's deep,
So
man.
we're asking you, Nike.
as the biggest voice in all of sports.
Will you stand up for me? Will you stand up for me?
Will you stand up for me? Will you stand up for me? Will you?
Will you?
Will you just do it?
Just do it. Nice.
Dude,
It's not race baiting. It's just
highly effective.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
great when I saw that. I was like, it was
Yeah.
a well-needed break to hear that. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
And it's much needed. I mean,
Right now, yep, the way we're so polarized.
Yeah, no.
well, I mean, it's not about polarized or not. I mean, it's about protecting girls. It's about protecting women.
I mean, I was shocked to find out that those trans athletes are able to change in the locker rooms right next to other girls. It's absurd. You know, and as a father of daughters, it alarms me that would like slip through the system.
Like that'd be okay.
I'm sorry, but my daughter just saw some other dude's junk. I don't even, I shower with doors so they're protected from that. I don't want them seeing that stuff. How dare them?
I hear you.
It's criminal.
I mean, and that's just one aspect, right? I mean, there's so many aspects to this. It's like there are transitioning men that are taking spots.
Correct.
Right? There are girls that work their asses off. There are girls that in track meets and all that kind of stuff train their asses off, and they get blown out, right?
And they lose opportunities.
and they don't make the cut because
right.
they didn't get on the team.
Right.
Well, you've got
it goes on and on and on.
These guys out there like Riley Gaines, who's now has her campaign.
Very courageous.
Yeah, it is. And Riley Gaines, if you don't know, is a swimmer on the Olympics or just college.
Kentucky.
It was Kentucky
NCAA,
college team.
yeah.
College.
And and then they got the trans that wants to jump in there because he couldn't make it in the men's league. It was like no.
Leah Thomas, is that right?
Yeah, it was
yeah,
Leah
that was
Thomas.
right,
He's
right.
ranked like 5,000 on a scale of 5,000. He jumps over to the women's league. He's like, "Oh, look at
Oh,
me! I'm
I'm
ranked 125th."
I'm number one.
Yeah.
I made the world record.
I think 126. It was. I mean,
No, he won.
Oh, you won?
No, he was like in the 100s or 200s on the men's side, and he was number one on the women's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so bad.
I'm glad that shit's over with, and I'm glad that some folks are coming out. And every day that passes, there are companies out there that continue to beat the DEI drum. There was a 60 Minutes show on TV, with Kamala Harris and how they
Right.
edited it.
Oh yeah.
And they show the live show as one thing, and then they produce the edited version afterwards, where it was completely different.
Well, she had a different answer, didn't she?
A completely different answer because they edited the shit out of it. And it's just like, my point by saying that is just like they edit everything. It all boils back to the same shit. You don't know what the fuck we're watching anymore.
Right.
You don't know what's right or wrong.
It's like when we were kids. You remember those books, Pick Your Own Ending?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys ever read those?
Yeah.
That's basically
boys.
so. Basically, I guess she recorded like different answers. If she didn't like it, she recorded a different one. And that didn't sound good. Can I do another one? I mean,
Oh
is that
my God.
what
Right.
is that kind of how
Sounds
that
like one of the girlfriends.
is that how that works?
I don't know. How did they get the second answer? Did they?
They
redo
must
it?
They
they
just
must have
edited it out.
yeah they redid
So
it.
it wasn't
I don't
so
know.
much that they used her answer. It was moreover they had the announcer, the host, kind of paraphrase what her answer is. And he was like, "You mean kind of like," blah, 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 and it was finished like that. Yeah, it's just completely
That's so
dishonest.
dishonest. That's the
It's
perfect
not.
word. It is dishonest.
It's not genuine. It's. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Trump too. By the way,
I'm tired of
You
being
know?
lied to about everything.
I mean, I want Trump's policies. I want everything, but I'm sick of the weight he carries. It's such a shiny. Trump. I love his policies. I want him to succeed. Period.
But you shiny. You didn't finish that thought.
It's just he's so childish.
Yes, he's a 12.
It's just like
he cannot change his inner core, which
I
is
mean-
a 12-year-old bully. That's what he is.
Well, no, I think that's unfair. I don't think he's a bully. I don't think he bullies people. I think that's complete misrepresentation. Take it back. Because he
won't.
doesn't bully people. What he does, he calls people out. He's just immature. He's not bullying people.
Well, that's what a bully does, right?
No.
It says immature things.
No, that's not what a bully is. A bully is someone that belittles other people for the benefit of themselves. It's not. That's not what he's doing. He's defending himself by calling people out because they are attacking him, and he returns and responds by.
I think some of the things he does belittles people when he calls them
Yeah,
morons.
he
and-
calls them names all the
absolutely.
time.
Stuff
But
like
is he just doing that, or was that a reaction or a response to what they've done?
No, I think he calls Kamala Harris a moron.
I think
She's
that
an
is
idiot.
a response
I mean-
to what she has said about him. Look,
I don't think
it's-
so.
Yeah, we might disagree
we
on
don't
this
know, and it doesn't matter if we disagree or agree. The fact is that they're both talking shit.
Yeah.
Which came first, the chicken or the fucking egg? Does it fucking matter at this point? They're both talking shit, and they're both being stupid, and that's the part I can't stand.
I hate it too.
Has anybody seen South Park Giant Douche versus Turd Sandwich?
no.
No, please pull that up.
Is that
Please.
is that new or is it an old one?
No, this is. I think it was during the 2004 Bush, whoever Bush ran against. But
This might be great.
All right, so
you should play it. There's like a 1 minute clip
do a
of
little
it.
video.
Do the debate or do YouTube. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Debate 2024.
Can we have
the
audio
SB
on-
Public
There we
Access
go.
presents.
This is Debate 2004 with your host, Jim Lehrer. Welcome to the cable access televised debate between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. We'll start with giant douche. Sir, some students and parents are reluctant to have a giant douche represent them. What do you say to those people? Jim, first of all, I would like to thank you for monitoring this debate. And I would like to thank all of the students and their parents for coming.
What the hell,
suck
man?
up, suck up.
This was 20 years ago.
What? That's an
Right?
obvious suck up move.
Is it
But I
really?
would hope
Yes.
that those
2004.
students and their
Yeah,
parents who
2004.
question my qualities would simply look at my opponent. He is a turd sandwich.
You're a turd sandwich.
No, sir, if you'll pardon me, you are in fact the turd sandwich.
You're a turd sandwich.
Sir, you are a turd sandwich.
You're a turd sandwich.
Turd sandwich, I will ask you not to speak out of turn.
I'm sorry, Jim.
Anyway, as I was saying, wait, I forgot what I was saying. Ha, what a douche. All right, turd sandwich. The next question is for you. How should South Park Elementary enforce its laws of conduct for young athletes during sporting events?
Speechless.
The turd sandwich doesn't
You
say
know,
anything.
my opponent wouldn't even know
My
the answer to
opponent.
that question. If you ask him the same question, he would not answer it. He would stand around and just babble on and on about nothing until finally he was saved by the buzzer that...
Your time is up, Turd.
Too accurate.
There you
20
go.
years later, still accurate.
Oh,
Well, we've had that discussion
completely.
where has it always been contentious? And the answer is yes.
It has.
I think
What,
we
the
forget.
debates or the race?
Well, just politics in general. I think
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's. We're much more involved because of our age at this point.
Yeah.
But even going back to the 1800s and the 1700s, politics was nasty back then too.
No.
We just didn't have social media at the time. We had little pamphlets and
Right.
shit they'd staple to the wall. Right.
Back then, they dueled.
Yeah, there was a duel.
Well,
How far back
but-
does bipartisan go? Like they just being between two parties.
Well,
forever.
the two-party system's been around for quite a while.
From basically the beginning.
Well,
Right.
well, you had three there. We talked about it on the other one about the Whigs, right?
Yeah.
So the Whigs made
Yeah.
an appearance for a while. So there was three then, and then they went away. I don't know when that was. Was that the late 1800s? I can't remember when the Whigs were
Shit,
around.
I don't know.
But there was three, and then it's pretty much
They
after
never
that.
got funded.
I mean, pretty much after that, it's been a two-party system.
No.
And that's horrible.
That's where I
it
think
was-
the mistake lies.
So
It was
I mean, the last
never
one was Ross
designed-
Perot. He was an independent, right?
Well, you have these people every now and then who kind of shoot up.
yeah.
You had Kennedy this year who
Mhm.
dropped out. He was going to get some votes.
Yeah.
Who he would have pulled from is up for debate.
Well,
But
I
he
mean,
would have gotten votes.
Yeah.
Ross Perot was the last one, but you always have someone.
the Green Party's always out there.
Yeah, the
Libertarian.
libertarians. My dad voted Libertarian once or twice. He finds like, screw it, I'm just throwing my vote away because they don't get enough,
They don't get it.
Yeah.
right? So he started voting a different way. So there's always other parties out there.
Well, yeah, that was one of my question was how long has it been just really relevant
The
between
two.
two? And I feel
And-
like that's forever, right?
For
Yeah.
a very,
It's for
very
the
long
longest
time.
And I
yeah.
don't,
For a
I
very
don't
long
think
time.
it was ever designed to be that way. Like,
No.
like
yeah.
they, you know what I mean? It wasn't supposed to be a party system. It was supposed to be a state system, meaning
Right.
you fought for your state. You fought for your constituents. It didn't matter. There was no, Democrat, Republican, and that's when the dysfunction of the government completely fell apart.
Well, dysfunction or the control set in and they realize, oh, we can control the system with this
Yep.
system.
Yep.
Doing it this way, we have more control over the outcome.
And one of the things that's happening recently that just blows my mind is Walsh saying that he wants to do away with the Electoral College.
That'll never happen.
Walsh,
Can't say never, but it's not going to happen.
Do you know what drives me crazy about it?
his ignorance.
Yeah, well, you're either a con artist or you're an idiot when you say stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
I think
because
he's
you're
both.
trying to get votes on something you know is not going to happen,
Right.
which means you're a con artist, or you're trying to get votes because you think something's going to happen that it was literally a 0%
He's
chance of it
stupid
happening.
at that time.
Right. So you're either a con artist or an idiot, and the unfortunate thing is like people are buying it. Yeah, we should get rid of the Electoral College. Okay, that needs a constitutional
Yeah,
amendment.
but Hillary Clinton was proposing the same thing.
I know, and she's a moron or a con artist, and she's a con artist because she's not stupid. So it takes an amendment to the Constitution, which is 2/3 of the House and Senate, and 3/4 of the states have to ratify.
It's not going to happen.
It's literally impossible. And guess what? The Electoral College helps the majority of the smaller states. Because if we
Yeah.
go,
That's why they want to get rid of it. They want the coasts to
Correct.
rule
correct.
the country.
Correct. So those smaller states, which is like 48 of them,
Right.
like 47 of them, I don't know.
You're not
46.
going to get 3/4 of those states.
Yeah. They're never going to do that because they'll never have a voice again,
Right.
ever, for
Right.
anything. You know what I mean?
Presidential wise, anyway.
Right, presidential wise. So, anyway, it would certainly change campaigning.
Well,
they would never go
Right.
to New Hampshire. They would never go to Iowa.
So
They
the
would
question-
never go to all these
Are they going to
bullshit-
call him out for that?
They're starting.
No.
He's starting to back. Yeah, actually, they are. They're trying to cover for him. They're trying to backtrack that. Well, the last I saw.
I just wish the American people knew how dumb a statement that is. And they don't.
They don't.
They really don't.
There's a lot of low information voters out there.
Yes. The majority, really.
Oh yeah, the majority.
Anyway. sad.
Majority of Americans, that was it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Majority population in general.
Yes, for sure.
Unfortunately.
For sure.
So
All right.
one thing I want to do is, we are, like Paul so eloquently said, we're double fisting. on this one.
We've never done this before.
We've never done this, so we're double
Well,
fisting.
we're very thankful because we have a special guest, as we mentioned. We got James from the Garrison Brothers that's here, and he brought some samples for us. We tried on the first half, which I don't know about you, but I'm pretty silly from the first half.
These were so
partakers. But the second half, we have two.
But what I'd like to do is get into one of them now, and then one.
Do you want to say what it is, or just?
Well, I want to talk about this one first because I think there's
Yeah.
a good story behind it, and then we could talk about this one.
Which glass is that?
That is the
Your
plain,
unlabeled one.
The plain
unlabeled.
one.
All
Yeah,
right.
unlabeled
Well,
one. And I want James to talk about it because there's a good story about it, and it leads back to some of your discussion in the first half, Sean. I've had this multiple times, and well, you have as well, and it is outstanding. This may be one of my favorites from the Garrison Brothers. Again, I've never had the Cowboy, so
Yeah.
I haven't had that one, but that may, we'll see. But I want you to kind of speak to what this one is. No, this is Balmorhea.
So out of all 8, this is my absolute number one favorite. I fell in love with this when I first tasted it in 2018, which I think the first release was 2017. Right after it first came out, I got to try it in a restaurant that I was working at, and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. But recently, before I transitioned into this side of the industry within the last probably 4 years, I got on a Woodford Double Oak kick, and I started learning the difference of what Double Oak is. And this one right here is our expression of a Double Oak. 3 or 4 years in that first oak barrel, those barrels that are tasted and have like a significant chocolate note to
those
it.
are the classic American white oak barrels?
Correct. So both barrels it spends its entire life in are oak, brand new charred American oak barrels. So it's 2 of them. That's why it has that extra dark color to it, because it's through 2 brand new barrels.
Nice.
About 3-4 years in that first barrel. Those are handpicked. Adonis calls them his 4-year fudges for their fudge sickle notes on them. Probably in your notes right there on it. And then they're dumped into a second, smaller oak barrel for another year or 2, a 25-gallon for the second portion of it, and then it's proofed down to 115. So it is cast strength at 115, but it really, I mean, I don't know about y'all. I think this is smoother than 94 proof.
It is.
That chocolate on there.
It is smooth. I think that chocolate you called out
Mhm.
nailed it because I was trying to write some things down, some of the things I was tasting, and then I actually put down that I'm picking up maybe some slight cinnamon on there as well.
Yeah.
But chocolate's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm
I
definitely
like
picking
cayenne
that up.
pepper. It lasts a long time. Maybe some white pepper, where it's on the tongue for a long time.
Right.
So it's,
We did the differentiating between, like, because we were like, what does white pepper taste like? When you went downstairs and grabbed it, white pepper kind of, once it gets on your tongue,
different.
it's not like hot, like pain, or like a jalapeno or something, like that. But it's like it stays on your tongue for a long time. It's
Right.
like that little burn. It's not uncomfortable. It's perfect.
And it's. We talk about the hue. This is a really good hue. It's nice. It's really dark.
Got a dark, the classic. So this is a double barrel.
Yes. Correct.
And what's interesting, it's not on the bottle.
That
It's
it's a
just
double
this-
barrel.
It's Balmorhea, right? Balmorhea.
Yeah. Balmorhea. Yeah.
Say it again.
Balmorhea.
Balmorhea.
Yeah. So
Thank
back
you.
to what we
Balmorhea.
talked about at the very beginning, the name for it it's named after Balmorhea State Park out in West Texas, which is a good 8 hours from here. It's way out there.
Nice.
Basically on the border of the Panhandle. Balmorhea State Park apparently was named after the 3 different guys who founded it. The last name 4. What's the 4th name?
The last name was they were brothers.
Okay.
That's why. So there's 3 last names that got divvied in 3.
Right.
But
Okay.
the last 2 guys shared the last name Rhea.
Okay. Yeah. So Bal, Moore, and Ray, they combined the 3 of their names
Oh,
to
how
name
cool.
the park.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we partnered with them several years ago whenever we released this, because they were going to close the swimming pool there. So it's home to the largest naturally spring-fed swimming pool in North America. And they were going to close it several years ago due to funding. So when we released this, we donated proceeds back, and we set up a 100-year plan to basically keep that pool open for the next 100
No
years.
way.
Yeah, that was the part that was super interesting that
Yeah.
I absorbed.
Right.
In that the tasting that we did at Total Wine.
Well, one of the things because I had no idea that Balmorhea even existed. I knew it was a bourbon by you guys,
Right.
But when I was
Same.
driving back from my dad's, we came San Diego all the way out. I saw signs, Balmorhea State Park,
Yeah.
and I was like, I wonder if that's named.
Yeah, there you go.
I wonder if there's a relation. And then I took the class, and I was like, that's
all
what
makes
tied it
sense.
together. That makes all sense to me.
Golly.
I was like,
So,
shit.
Well,
The cool
golly,
thing-
it does match.
The town and state park of Balmorhea, Texas, are named after the four men who that founded the area's irrigation company in the early 20th century. So there's E.D. Balcom. He was an engineer and a manager. And then you have H.R. Morrow, Bal Morrow, because they took a portion of each name. He was the investor, H.R. Morrow. And then you had Joe and John Rea, and they were both investors. And they had
It's Balmorhea, though. Right?
Balmorhea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect. It's poetic.
Do we have a
Yeah.
picture of the Puel?
Oh my
The
gosh.
Puel?
It's so freaking
Pool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to,
That's a long
Balmorhea
drive.
Pool.
Balmorhea.
Look at this water.
Oh, look
That's
at
what the
that.
wax is meant to be the color of. So
I couldn't hit that note.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Balmorhea.
Yeah. So
gay.
So
Look at
you did the wax. You did the wax to match the color of the water. Interesting.
correct.
So have you been out there?
I have not.
I
No, it's
wonder
a
how
long
deep-
road
Hold on.
trip.
What'd you
Apparently, it's deep enough to get your driver's license. Is what I
the
I've
wax
heard.
matches the color of the
It
water.
Yeah,
does.
So, yeah. That's the.
Oh, actually,
So you
that's
so you
quite interesting.
can so it's probably 20 feet or so, right?
Yeah. So I think
I don't know. You never know. Ooh,
this
that
is a
gun's
little
gonna
bit of a
kill
different
you.
part than down here.
All right.
Well, look, the natural spring is beautiful.
I had no
They
idea.
invested a ton of money. But you said
Yeah.
20 years of investing in that.
100.
No,
100
100.
years.
100, oh,
100-year
okay.
plan.
I wonder
yeah.
how cold it is.
But that's just it.
Apparently,
in return,
because it's spring fed, it's 72 degrees year round.
but it's also
that's chilly to dump into.
You
It
guys, I
is.
thought you guys said you utilized the temperature of that for some of your production. I don't know what it
No.
was.
No.
If
That's
that was in
8
the
hours
first
away.
time, I don't know. I'm not sure. Not anymore. Not that I know of.
Did they used to have a rick house out there or something?
No, as far as I know, everything's always been done on our property and high.
Well,
Hi. Hye.
This was where Dan went as a kid, and so that was part of the tie to it. And he wanted to take his kids there and didn't want it to be closed.
Very nice.
So we partnered with them to keep it open. And same with a lot of our limited expressions. They all have proceeds and ties to different charities. The Ladybird is the Ladybird Johnson Wildflower Foundation or Wildflower Center that proceeds go back to. So all of them have charity ties back to the state of Texas.
So all the specialty one.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't think Cowboy does, but Guadalupe, Laguna Madre, Balmorhea, and Ladybird.
So the Laguna Madre, I know Donna's talked about that. So that's aged in a specific type of barrel. isn't
Correct. So it essentially is a double oak like this, except that second oak barrel is a French limousine oak barrel. Very expensive barrel from France, from the Limousine Forest, and it's instead of 4-ish years and 2 years, it's 4 years and 4 years.
it? Gotcha.
wow.
So 4 years American oak, 4 years in that Limousine oak, 101 proof, and it is phenomenal. But granted that it's one of the oldest expressions that we do, it is the lowest yielding expression, so that's why you never see it. And it's
I
a
want
bottle.
to share what AI
Oh, gosh.
described. I typed in there, Balmorhea whiskey flavor description, and they come back and they say Garrison Brothers Balmorhea is a Texas straight bourbon whiskey with a complex flavor profile. Includes notes of caramel, vanilla, toasted oak, dark chocolate, and dried fruit, or otherwise known as
No,
stone
it's not
fruit.
stone fruit. It's just dried fruit.
Tasting notes, some say it tastes like bourbon candy, frozen fudge sickle bars, amaretto coffee, sticky buns, pecan brittle, and a thick white chocolate syrup. Aroma, some say it's nose of wildflowers, oak-laden forest with hints of vanilla and caramel.
I could pick up floral on the nose.
The mouthfeel, some say it has the rich and sweet mouthfeel, and the finish, some say, is long, robust, and velvety finish.
But I tell you what, I mean, it
Mhm.
coats the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
I mean, it's nice and oily.
Very
where you're-
viscousy.
Well, you're
Does it
just-
have legs?
But it doesn't burn at all. At
Oh, it
115
does.
proof, it's buttery smooth.
No, I love it. It's again, like the single barrel, it has flavor. It
Right.
has flavor.
Oh,
It's amazing. I go back to the
extremely rich.
Well, I think this is one we should add to our collection, personally.
agreed.
Yeah.
And then I think we need to work on the Cowboy. Cowboy first, because the Balmorhea is more accessible,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
getting the cowboy for myself.
Are you going to help us get one as well? Or?
Well, I mean, I will buy 2, and you guys pitch in for the second one, perhaps.
Wow.
if we can get to.
Are you going solo on this, dude? Is it dude like us or just dude? Is it dudes like us?
Oh.
I'm not going to say you can't have any. You can come over to the Dudes Like Us production studio in my
Well, what
house.
if we could only get
Is
one
he,
though? Right?
Is he Lionel Richieing us right now?
I think he is.
Dude,
Is that what
3,
you- is
get
that
the
what
case
he's-
discount.
is that what you're trying to
All
do?
3 of 'em.
Is that what he's trying to do? He's breaking up the Commodores here. What a douchebag! All right. Anyway, so you know what? You know what you're making me realize as part of these stories and stuff. When you walk down the aisle of Total Wine and there's like thousands of bottles, right? There is a story behind every single one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's somebody's passion, and they
Most of the time.
well, most of the
yes.
time, right? But it's baked into the reason why they did the shape of the bottle.
Right.
It's built into what they put on the bottle. It's built into I had no idea, the freaking wax.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In your example,
Yeah.
the wax is because that's the spring-fed swimming
color.
pool.
is that true? I mean, it is. It looks the same, but is that by design?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, that's that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's and I hope that all of them are sharing something with their bottle, with their story.
Oh yeah.
With their bottle. And
absolutely.
I would imagine they would
Yeah.
be, right? Because it's passion, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's just super cool. Super cool. Wow.
This has been one of my favorite bourbons for a very, very long time. Many, many years before I worked for this brand.
Yeah, this is outstanding.
It just is so freaking good.
I mean, I'm surprised though you don't call out the double oaked on it though.
It's not on the bottle.
It
Anywhere.
on the neck hanger that goes on it when it's in the store. It says double barreled on it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's enough. Honestly, I think that double barrel should have a double barrel. As a consumer, I want to know that. Because it's going to sway me. If I'm making a decision between one that's a single or a double, I'm going to always gravitate towards double.
Yeah, but are you going to buy a $200 bottle without knowing
Absolutely.
exactly what you're getting?
If it's a double barrel, I'd be inclined to because I'm a huge when it comes to double barrels.
Wow.
Hold on. What are you
I
saying?
am.
How what does this run for?
It varies. 180 to 220.
Yeah, $179.99.
Man,
It varies.
That's steep, but it's damn good.
Homegrown and handmade, Garrison Brother, Texas. No, hold on.
All right, here's what it says on the side.
Oh, that was right.
Corn variety, and I can't read that because it's so small. Then it says
You're just old.
from farm in, right, which is super cool. They're labeling what farm it says South Texas. It says the bottle number, release date, and then all it says is aged in oak.
Yep. Yep.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure we knew that.
Look at the other side though. There's a
Right.
little paragraph on the other side.
Yeah, it's too small.
We always struggle with this. We're all like,
that's just not going to happen.
we're getting our phone out, making it bigger.
That's immediately.
I
like,
read it out for you.
if I do my thumb and my index finger,
So
on
it gives
will
us great
get bigger?
pleasure to bring you our beautiful Balmorhea bourbon. This magnificent Texas straight bourbon whiskey is bold for its majestic crafted, having long aged not once but twice in 2 completely different oak barrels. The result is perfectly balanced with bourbon flowing with crimson candy flavor.
All right, so let me ask you a
Spot
tough
on.
question. Do you get complaints about the pricing?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know because the T-shirt
It's
that
fucking
we got
expensive. That's
Yeah.
why.
says
fuck
Expensive,
off.
but worth every damn penny.
yeah,
It
expensive.
should say
but worth
fuck
every
off or
penny.
worth it.
Yeah.
No. Well, look, again, I've always had a stick up my ass when it came to Garrison Brothers. Both Paul and Jeff would be like, Garrison Brother, I wouldn't even let him finish. I'd be like, shut up.
I remember
Well, I
the
tell
first
you
time
what,
we met.
Don-
we
Donna's-
talked about that. We had
I
a
was like,
conversation
yeah, that's so
about
much.
it.
Donna's really helped me appreciate the cost
Yeah.
and understand where it's coming from and some of the things that Garrison Brothers supports and stuff, like the glass, I think is all local glass or
Yeah.
American glass. It's
American,
all
yeah.
American
Yep.
made, right?
Yep.
So there's a premium to American-made shit,
Oh, for sure.
right? So
And they're giving back.
And they've got a nice little metal band around it. It's got a
Our
nice
bottles are
visual
so
look.
beautiful.
yeah, they are nice.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty.
And they're distinct, and when you look on the shelf, you know what it is.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Very
So,
cool.
They've come a long way.
All right, so I want to dive in a little bit to your job and what you do. So you live in Dallas,
Yes.
but you how far do you travel to promote the product?
As far as I have to go. I go down to the distiller every now and then.
Do you ever have to go to bars?
Oh yeah, every day. Yeah.
But are you?
No, I'm talking about for work.
Yeah, every day. More for work than for pleasure.
So do you go there for like you're advertising, you're trying to plug your product, or are you selling to the waitress or the wait staff, the kitchen craft? I mean,
so I'm going for the buyers who buys the product at this establishment.
Do you give out free samples at the bars, the local vendors?
Yeah, the way it kind of works is like we'll have a meeting and we'll sit down and we'll talk about the bourbon and what it is and what makes it special and what we can do to make money together. And
so this is with each individual bar.
Correct.
Not the people that are the end user, like the customers that are there. The customers in your case are the restaurant bar owners.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my number one thing as far as restaurants and bars is cocktails, is doing a cocktail, because that's how we're going to move the most volume. And people don't realize the price of cocktails have gone up so much in the last several years. What's your average cocktail? $15 to $20.
Right.
Your average cocktail.
It's ridiculous.
But the quality of the products that goes into that cocktail has not gone up with that price. Inflation.
In other words,
you're
getting a shit bourbon.
Exactly. So our thing is reinforcing that price point to justify paying $20 for an old fashioned. Why not do a bourbon that justifies a $20 old fashioned or a $25 old fashioned?
Sean's paid $50 for an old fashioned. He had 8 of them.
$49.99.
Okay, so let me push back on that. Let me push back on that, right? So if they're getting if they're getting $20 for every old fashioned and they're able to put a much cheaper bourbon in it and people aren't complaining about it. So if they're going to put Garrison Brothers, is it going to be a $35 old fashioned?
It depends on where you go.
I mean, right? You see my point?
Like Jeff said, I went somewhere and I ordered a premium bourbon. My intention was not. I'll tell you what I said. I said I wanted a old fashioned.
A old fashioned?
Yeah.
Just
your house old fashioned.
Bourbon.
And they give you a $50 old fashioned.
They gave me Weller's full proof.
Oh shit!
And they didn't clarify. Hey, are you sure you want this in an old fashioned?
No.
They gave, not only did they give me one, but I had one. I was like, oh, this is really good. And I'm with the table of a bunch of guys, and the guy's like, oh, that's good, because they were all drinking beer.
Yeah.
And I show up in old fashioned, like, oh, look at that. And they were like, oh, Sean's right. This is great. And so next thing you know, we have a table of 8 guys, and we're pounding down fucking old fashions. I had like 8 in 4 hours.
Oh, God.
And can you imagine all that? We got our bill, and I was like, dude.
I would be pissed.
I was like, really? I asked for your house, and you gave me that?
When I was in the industry, the rule was, and especially as a manager, I enforced it heavily with my staff, was any pour that's over $30 straight up for a pour, if somebody goes and if they order it at all, just clarify, because some people may take it disrespectful, but most people will appreciate you being transparent, saying, hey, my Bland's is $50. I worked at places that Bland's was $50 a pour. But just to clarify, hey, just so you know, the normal pour on this is $50. Are you sure you want that in an old fashioned?
Are you okay with that?
Are you okay? Is that okay?
You have to ask that.
Like there's no reason not
They
to.
should. And it was really frustrating that way, because let's be real. I don't give a fuck what you put in old fashioned. Look, no offense. Old fashioned is an old fashioned is old fashioned. I mean, I can't, when you're drinking an old fashioned, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able, I don't know, maybe I will. I mean,
you could tell.
I mean, I guess if I put like Ancient Age and Garrison, I could probably taste it.
I've actually done the experiment. After 7, you can't tell.
Yeah.
At the Revel?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Right. So remember, if you're going to go
7
the good
bullet
stuff,
old fashions at the Revel.
If you're going to, this is what I recommend. This is what I recommend. This is what I recommend.
We've
If
had them,
you're going to go the good stuff, the first 3 or 4, good stuff. The next 2, after that, well.
I'm going to tell y'all what I do. So what I do when I go out, and granted, I come
you bring your own?
No.
We walk
I mean, if I can.
You get in there and you unkeister it.
Hopefully TBC's not listening. No. I'm a cocktail guy, so I have a lot of experience in mixology and doing really high-end craft cocktails. Now, a lot of bars do not do that, and I can tell instantly if a bar is going to be able to make me a really good Boulevardier right off the bat, or egg white whiskey sour is one of my favorite cocktails. When I go out, though, I do 1, 2 at most cocktails, and then I go to this right here. I go to a straight pour of whatever I feel like drinking that I see that's behind the bar.
You can't go wrong with that.
Because you're not going to notice the difference after so many cocktails. And one for me too, though, is just the sugar in cocktails
Correct.
Oh, yes.
makes you feel like shit the next day. So
Yeah.
I can do 1 or 2 all day and then just go to straight sipping bourbon. And when I'm drinking something high proof like that and I'm sipping it, I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to savor it and it's going to last way longer. Whereas if I'm doing cocktails, I can freaking pound them like a shot. You know,
Yes.
if it's a good cocktail,
Yeah.
you just slang them a good, even if they're not great, if they're just old fashions that are sweet, but they're boozy, you can just slam them like
Of
shots.
course.
Right.
But, you do 1 or 2, and then that goes into drinking a good one. If you're going to drink a really good one to start off, and then go into drinking a really good bourbon that might be $30 or $40 or $50 a pour, straight up by itself, or maybe with an ice cube, maybe with a splash of water, you get to enjoy it a lot more. And I feel like I get my value out of it. And my thing is value. I don't mind paying $20 for a cocktail if it's worth it. The
Right.
value's behind it, but I'm not going to have 5 of them. Because after the third one, like you said, 7 of them, you're not going to know
You're not
the
gonna
difference. You're toasted and enjoying it, but I like enjoying my bourbon. I always feel like I've always kind of babysat drinks and cocktails in general. Not as much cocktails, but, babysit a little bit just to enjoy it.
Well, if
know?
you're having a straight bourbon, you're not going to go in there with the $50 and just shoot it.
Yeah.
Although,
Except for when he walks into Total Wine classes.
this is true.
That was a,
What's up, bitches?
honestly, it was a bizarre.
And he just blended them all into
Yeah.
one.
I did not blend them. I
He did not.
actually,
No, he did not.
did I take my time in between? I did like 15 seconds in between shots.
got it.
15 might be high.
He walked
but-
in.
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck you! I've had a bad day."
No.
Yeah, I believe it was, which one's Balmorhea? Okay, 1, 2, 3, bam, and then maybe 15 seconds before Balmorhea.
Dude. Then you grab some
This is
chicken.
honeydew.
Then you grab some chicken nuggets on the way out.
Yep.
Here, my dad is he's in intensive care, and I'm like, he'll be okay.
Like the Seinfeld when she stops and gets, what is it, Juji
Oh,
fruit
Juji
before
fruits
going to the hospital?
and popcorn.
Oh God,
She
that's
eats-
so
That's
fucked
exactly
up.
what you did.
Oh, that's
Classic.
funny. You got the Juji fruit before you? Yeah, but I was already there.
Wow,
Classic.
that's cool.
I was her. That's hilarious. And we all judged her, which meant I was judged. But the thing about it is that nobody knew it.
Yeah.
It did come back to bite me.
All right, so circling back. All right, so I would think that Garrison Brothers is very well known.
Yeah.
Like throughout Texas.
Yeah.
Right? In
The
terms-
First bourbon
in ter-
distillery in Texas.
Yeah, right. In terms of restaurants and bars that you're trying to sell to,
Yeah.
how many of them don't have it? Like what's the saturation or what's the
I
whatever
think
you
it's the
call
level
it?
of bar as well.
Exactly.
That's going to carry Garrison Brothers.
Say that again.
I think the level of bar, like if you go to, I think there's a level of bar that would carry Garrison Brothers.
Or anything like it.
Right. I could be wrong.
Right, right,
No,
right.
I think a classic steakhouse, a classic Texas barbecue joint. What do they have up there in the street?
Hutchins?
Yeah,
Oh my
Hutchins.
God, Hutchins
I
is my
think
favorite
all that
barbecue.
stuff they
It's
should be
so
carrying.
good.
Oh.
And look, if you're gonna drop $50 on a fucking beef rib, you need to have a Garrison Brothers.
I got a beef rib at Hutchins one of the last times I went, and it was like $80.
Dude.
It was the first time I went, and they had beef ribs because they don't always have them. And I was like,
that must have
yeah, give me
been-
one of those. And then they threw it on a scale, and the tag was like $79. And I was like, oh, shit. Everything else we had combined with 4 of us
Yeah.
was $70. And then that one rib was almost
Yeah,
$80.
but it had like probably 22 ounces of meat.
Oh,
on
yeah. Yeah.
It was-
easily.
it. super delicious.
Hutchins is not the cheapest barbecue around, though, but
No.
No, but it's
Yes.
the best. I think it's the
a
best.
lot
It
of-
is
lot of-
good.
lot of
But
meat.
that's one of the places I would think that they would have Garrison Brothers. What is the other one? The Heart 8?
Hard 8.
Hard
yeah.
eight.
The
Heart
Heart
Eight.
8 should have it too, because they actually have a bar. I don't think really Hutchins has.
No,
Hard Eight
yeah.
have a bar?
Yeah. No, I don't think they do.
No, I don't think Hard Eight
No.
has a bar.
Oh, I don't know about Hard 8. Hutchins
Heart 8
does
does,
not, I don't think.
100%.
Yeah, I
But-
think Hard 8 does, but
Did-
Hutchins does
And
not.
I have a beef with Hard 8, right? So I went
I
there.
think it's overpriced.
I went there for a lunch, right? And you got there and they're like, hey, and it's like, you want some of this? Oh yeah, you want some of that? You want some of this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll have it.
Hey, yeah,
Oh
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah. And it's for lunch, right?
Right.
And then you're like, get to the end, and it's like, that'll be $38 for lunch. And I'm like, okay, can you put the bacon wrap thing back? And you're fucked at that point, right? Because
Yeah.
you can't put anything back.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
Well, that's what Hutchins
okay.
does right, is when you get the meat at the very beginning, they put the little sticker that says the price right on it.
Right.
As soon as you get it.
Yes.
But
Then you
Hutchins
have
is
that you have that inner monologue. It was at that moment.
Dude, because I will tell you, I won't go to Hard 8 very often because you get raked.
You really
raked
have to,
over the
You have to
coals.
control yourself. Going in there, you have to go, all right, I can only get a few things.
Right.
Especially for lunch.
Yeah, like one of those little fufu meals where you have this little tiny piece of meat with a little drizzle on it.
Let's go around. So what's everybody's number one barbecue in the Metroplex? Number one place. Mine's Hutchins. I'll say it right
I'll say it. I agree with you.
Hutchins is the shit.
It's great.
I like mine the best.
Oh, look at this attitude. Nice.
I've only been to Hutchins once or twice, and I wasn't too impressed. I like Tender. I think Tender is pretty good.
Oh, see, I got the second location they opened, and I thought it was terrible.
Yeah. Well, again, we go in there.
But I heard the first one was really good, so I think it was that
the
location.
one in Salina, I think, is the first one. I think. But
let me add
I smoke my own
a
shit,
list.
and when we do that, so we don't go out for barbecue a lot.
That's he's a big hobby.
All right, look,
smoker hobbyist.
I'll give you credit on all of it. All right, but for the sake of this moment,
Oh boy.
Oh.
This is where hold on. This is where the friendship started.
I'm like,
to
bitch,
splinter.
please. I mean, 5 years ago, you have developed an art, and hands off. I would have you 100% of the time cook all of it.
I think prior to that, just because I had kids, we'd go to Rudy's a lot.
There you go. Hutchins, Rudy's. You got
Rudy's
Tender Smokehouse. There's a Tri-Tip Grill. The Spring Creek Barbecue.
Are these all local?
Oh,
They got the
You can't put
Jen
Spring Creek on
Korean
there.
Barbecue House.
No.
Hold on. Are you
I've
doing
never
like?
been there.
Hold
I
up.
don't know.
Are you doing Frisco?
Yes.
Is that with this? Okay.
Yes.
Keep going. Keep going.
You've got the True Texas Barbecue.
Where's that at?
Yeah, I never heard of these.
Well, I'd have to open.
Well,
this up.
Spring Creek is on this list, and that's
I know.
like
Yeah,
the Dickies.
and
of
Dickie's
fucking-
Barbecue.
Yeah,
The
that's
Dickie's
not
not
on
that.
our list.
Not that bad.
I disagree
Not
with
that
this
bad.
list.
Dickie's closed down. So it
Well, the
was
one
that
by
bad.
us, it's now an African Mart
Oh, good. We need one of those.
grocery store.
I've heard
Yeah.
Cadillac is amazing.
Mother-
Cadillac in Carrollton or North Dallas. Cadillac is supposed to be really
I heard
good.
there's a Terry Black's.
Terry Black's is really good.
That's over in Fort
Yeah.
Worth, though, right?
There's one in downtown Dallas.
I was there.
Pecan Lodge, supposedly in downtown. I have not had, because every time there's a line down the street.
I've never been
Yes.
to
And it's
Pecan
one of those
Lodge.
things where it's just like, I don't know. I would wait in line at Hutchins, but I knew how good it was beforehand. The first time I went, there wasn't a line
We
like
almost
that.
have to wait in line at Hutchins. I mean,
You
It depends
do.
on when you go. It really depends on when you go.
that's true. Like,
But it's worth the
2:30 in the
freaking wait,
afternoon.
man.
You're probably not going to wait in line. But I mean, when we go
So
to lunch,
worth it.
like at lunchtime, like for example, we like you go to dinner or you wine and dine with people to get them to buy your product. Well, we do the same thing with some of our vendors, and we say, all right, well, let's meet up at Hutchins. And we got to be there at 10:45, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Well, they open at 11. Well, God bless. At 10:45, there's a line.
I've never gone that early, but I believe it.
Dude, I hate lines. So when I see that kind of shit, I'm like, nah.
I'll wait till next time.
Yeah.
Hutchins is one of the only places I'll make
wait,
that exception.
But that's the problem.
Yeah, it's worth
I'll
it.
wait till never time.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
I've always
Maybe-
been the type too where when you walk into a restaurant and say, "Hey, we're gonna go here for dinner tonight," and you don't make a reservation. Now I know to make reservations everywhere, but you walk into a restaurant and they're like, "Yeah, we're on a 45-minute wait," and I'm like, you know what? We'll go across the street. We'll
Yeah,
go
we
somewhere.
go-
I've never
I'm
been a
on board
wait
with that.
person.
There's
I've
a-
never been a
hate-
wait.
I hate it as
10,
well.
15 maybe, but more than
But that's why I think a 30-minute. I think 15 to 30 is fine because you go. It depends on who you're with.
and
if
where
you-
you're at.
Yeah, and where you're at.
Yeah.
If there's a little cantina or a little bar right there where you can
Yes.
walk in there and have a couple of cocktails, and you're sitting there and you're drinking. And your Dudes Like Us podcast, folk. Your table's ready now. You know what? We've already had 15,000 appetizers here, so
Okay, that little scenario has never happened, just so you know. Oh,
It was a
You
hypothetical.
with dudes like us? Oh, sir, you can skip the line.
We got the
That didn't
VIP.
happen.
We got
What
the
the
VIP
fuck?
lounge for you. Right.
Someday.
Yeah.
Maybe after now that James is on our podcast.
Well,
Maybe.
James is going to enforce the Haktua moment.
Oh God,
What?
what is that?
Whoa.
Where we go
Maybe I
What?
need to rephrase, but
Where we
James like what?
where we go viral.
I'm talking
okay.
Where we
okay,
go viral.
okay.
Jesus
Thank you for
Christ!
that.
It's not one of those types of podcasts. You're like, oh, do they wait till the second after to share this?
No, that's
No.
that's the third.
Why is Sean getting
podcast.
so close to me?
How many have I had?
Yeah. Right.
All right, cool. So
Chill out there, P Diddy.
So I know I know I keep coming back to this, but I'm fascinated by what your job is and where you have to go. So what's your region though? Are you outside of Texas?
Me personally am not. We have people in several states, and we have different regions. I'm part of Team TCP, Texas, California, Pacific. So we have basically everything between here and Cali. We have people in Cali. We have people in Florida. We have people in the Northeast Coast. We have,
so are you guys nationwide at this point?
Oh, yeah. We're in all 50 states.
You really?
Yeah. And then as of this year, we are also technically international with Canada.
All right.
We're getting out there.
But not in Europe.
Not yet. No.
Big.
Our barrels are over there,
They
though.
would have to dumb down their bottle size to a
It
liter.
has to be 700
That's fucked
milliliters.
up. It's so messed up.
Is it 700?
700.
Yeah.
That is-
Yeah.
what the
yeah.
hell,
It's
man?
so weird.
That's what Jack Daniels is starting to do.
Yeah.
Like they're bonded as
They're just
700.
shaving it. They're just shaving here.
Charge you
change
the
it
same
here.
amount.
Hey, what you doing?
All right.
Couple
Last
cents.
one for you.
Yeah.
So you've been everywhere, all these bars, all these restaurants. What's the craziest shit you've seen? What's the craziest story that comes to mind?
Don't bring up the donkey show.
Yeah, not nothing crazy. But
The
you know what I'm
what?
saying?
The donkey show.
I don't know.
I don't know. He was. I could sense it.
That's actually one of Sean's, fetishes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't
Donkey.
have to get into that.
Okay.
Actually, it's more on the
No,
meat-
really. I mean, you
the
have to have
mule.
stories, right? No stories?
Well, it's during the day,
Uh,
right? Well, you usually during the day when there's not the party's
Oh,
hopping.
he
there,
probably
right?
doesn't want to share. He's probably like, yeah. Well,
I've got better stories from when I was bartending than when I've been doing this.
I'd listen to those.
Share.
there's
One
so
of the
many.
craziest ones that really blew my. I'm not going to say where it was, but I was bartending, and a lady, maybe a lady of the night, perhaps, put her foot up on the. She was FaceTiming somebody, and put her foot up on my bar and put her phone between her legs and was pleasuring herself on FaceTime to somebody at my bar.
Did
with
she have
people
a
in
dick?
there. I didn't look. I didn't look that close. Maybe.
So when
I
you
don't
say
know.
pleasuring herself,
You
what-
should have
what
got on
does
your
that- what does that
phone and
mean?
started filming with her.
That's what it looked like from behind the bar, and I was just like, "Is this really fucking happening right now?"
Wow.
That could
And
be
this was at a
surreal.
really nice. This was at a place that enforced a very strict dress code. No hats allowed. No shorts for men.
Those
no
are the people that
open-toed
don't give a
shoes.
shit. Some of those people are just wealthy. Where they walk in there like either they're just
This
like
bitch was
fucking
not
ignorant.
wealthy.
Then she's
this
just
bitch
a
was
drug
ratchet.
addict.
Yeah,
And
Sean's had some good stories too. Like when he met Selena and she smelled like a wet dog.
Yeah.
The singer?
Yeah,
She smelled like
that's
a
not very
skanky,
nice.
a skanky
She was
hoe. He
very-
said.
Lots of
there was
BO.
a
Rest
little
in
bit,
peace.
there was a little bit more context in that.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah, you
guys for
said
just throwing me
she
under the
stunk.
fucking bus. No, look. First of all, I worked at a Taquina. No,
Oh, God, here we go.
I worked at a
Here we go.
Tejano nightclub in the lower valley of El Paso, 800 North Zaragoza in El Paso, and there was
God.
he always gives the address.
I know he does. But that's so
Tejas-
fucked up.
I will
Tejas
not give any
nightclub,
addresses.
And the telephone
They
number
had-
is.
they had so many different at that time like Tejano performers that would play there. Juan Gabriel, Maz, La Sombra, and one of them was Selena y Los Dinos, and she did stink. And it's only
God.
but look, she was a beautiful, fantastic
Of
performer.
course she was.
Okay, I say that she smelled. So when I say a stink, she didn't smell good. So because she spent the whole night
Yeah, she's
on
gyrating on
stage,
stage.
sweating and putting it out there.
and gyrating.
Yeah.
And she came up to me and she was like, "Oh, you're the widow behind the bar." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's one way to call me. That's like saying gringo or honky
Yeah.
or whatever. You're
no,
the widow
Widow's
behind
not
the
that mean. Widow's
Ah,
nice.
well, I get it, but still, it's just like, why?
What?
know,
And you got all butthurt and you're like, skanky
No,
hoe.
I didn't say that.
You stink.
You
No,
stinky whore.
back at that time, I was wearing my tuxedo little outfit, so because I was the center bartender, and I was the point of attention. On that
Sean
big-
Cruz.
Yeah, come see Sean Cruz
And you're
live
like-
at Texas nightclub.
And you were like, I'll make love to you.
In the desert.
Rico suave.
God,
in
in
the
the desert,
desert
yes.
tonight, with the stars
Okay.
all above.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway,
yes.
so yeah, Selena, she was beautiful. Yeah, she did stink, but I don't care. She was sweet. She gave me a big kiss on the cheeks not cheeks, but on my cheek.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know
You know.
what kind of concerts you go to, but
No,
I can't see anybody
no,
coming
no.
off stage not stinking at
Right?
the shows I go to.
Right.
Yeah, well, and
Right?
noted,
That's
and
work,
noted.
man. That's a freaking
And
workout.
noted, yeah, they are working.
For
And plus,
sure.
they're plus it's a different style of music. Look, I didn't like just come into this music and like it. It was imposed on me. I didn't realize what I was getting to when I got hired in there. I was thinking, I'm just gonna be a bar back. And next thing you know, within like a couple of weeks, I was fucking bartending. And then they moved me over to the center bar during ladies' night. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't understand it. Later.
You were
Waito,
the
the
star
Waito can
attraction.
This is the only white guy in the fucking.
Yeah.
you know.
That's why you were Waito. You were the Waito.
So how many people did you fuck over with the $50 old fashioned?
What year was this? Let's preface
I'll
it
tell
by
you, one
this.
of one of my experiences with drinks making it there, which scared the living shit out of me. First of all, you got to understand, this place is called Tejas. It's not there anymore. It's Tejas nightclub, and it's right on the border. When I say it's on the border, it's on the fucking border.
Right.
Like less than a mile, it's there, and people come across the border from Juarez and come over the border, visit that place because they have mariachis there that are there,
What
and they're
city was
authentic.
this?
This is in El Paso.
Oh, El Paso. Okay.
And you get a lot of
Mariachis.
drug dealers, which
yeah.
I don't care. Drug dealers are just like everybody else.
Sure.
They make money doing illegal things. I
Right.
mean, we make money selling whatever. I don't care. I don't want to rationalize the thing, but you had these guys that were there, and they show up, and they're there all the time, and they drink Chivas Regal, which is a Spanish Scotch, if that's such a thing, right?
It is Spanish Scotch. I don't know. I thought it was blended Scotch. I didn't know it was Spanish.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
It's the well at most bars.
yeah. Well, but it's a
Doers and Chivas.
Scotch whiskey.
Yeah,
It's
it is
got-
Scotch. Yeah.
So it is kind of weird, but nonetheless, that's what this gentleman had ordered. He orders like a double on the rocks, and he's a large dude. He's like 6 foot fucking 8, just a massive. He's like the Perry the refrigerator, just a big dude.
Yeah.
He comes over and he's a drug dealer. You know it because people come up to him and he's pulling shit out of this big trench coat that he has of little baggies and stuff they're selling him, and it's
Oh,
like a
boy.
fucking vending machine. And I see it and I don't say nothing. I don't give a shit. It's none of my business. I don't care. He's a good looking guy for his size and stuff. And he comes up to me and he was like, "Dame una Chivas Regal." On the rocks. I forget what that means.
On the rocas.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And so, he's drinking
Rocas.
he drinks like one or two, and he comes back up to me. I know what he wants, and then and I'm flipping because back then, look, dude, the movie Tom Cruise came out, right? And so
No.
the Cocktails with Tom Cruise. in it.
Cocktail.
Cocktails with Tom Cruise came out in the mid '80s, where you're flipping bottles and stuff like that. My boss was like, "Hey man, can you learn how to do some of that shit to make it kind of fun back there behind the bar?"
Oh
And so-
my
Hey,
god.
go learn how to do this.
I did. I mean, he gave me bottles to take home, different sized ones, and I was flipping them, I was spinning them. I learned how to
shit,
do it. I
okay.
used to bounce the metal shakers off the ground and flip the glasses and do all that kind of crazy shit. It was fun. And after you get good at it, I mean, it's like a fucking circus performance. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I ended up
Before.
doing back there. And so here I am. This guy is asking me, and I got to take heed to precedence. This guy is known in the bar as he doesn't even get a tab. When he orders a drink, I write it down. All right. So that doesn't happen. Nobody has a tab back then where I worked. You know, they pay as they go. So this guy had a tab. I just write it down. So that kind of tells you something else about the bar owners, but whatever. I don't give a fuck about it. It's none of my business.
Right.
The guy comes back up, puts his drink. Hey, I would like another one. Here I am flipping drinks, throwing stuff down, Tom Collins, margaritas and stuff. And I take a cherry and I miss the drink it's supposed to go in, and it lands in his Chivas Regal double on the rocks. And it was that moment, it was kind of like time stood still, where we made eye contact. He looked at me and he had such a dry look on his face. I didn't know if he was going to like take something out and blow my fucking head off or what was going on.
You were like,
And-
I love you, Mom.
and he looked at me and he was like, "What is that?" Because he looked at the cherry, and I was thinking, well, he may be taking this as a negative thing. Like, oh my god, I just offended the fuck out of him, thinking he's a fag
Sure.
or something. Where, oh, you think I like fucking cherries? What's going on over here? And he looked at,
Except in a Mexican voice.
Yeah, what is that Brooklyn? Is it a fucking cherry?
so
Is
this
it a
guy's,
maraschino?
so I looked at him. I was like, he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It was an accident." And he looks at it and he picks the cherry out and he eats the cherry and he throws the stem on the bar top and just walks off.
And he goes, "You're a dead man."
No, he didn't say anything. He just,
just
walked
went-
off. He just had a disgruntled look on his face and just threw it on the bar in front of me where I was at.
At least he
I
ate
cleaned
it.
it up. He
goes,
did.
"You and your family are dead."
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. But he came back like 15, 20 minutes later. He's like, "I'll have another one of those accidents."
Oh no way! So then it
So
was,
I was like,
then it was called the accident.
dude, he came in and that's what he ordered every fucking time.
He started the cherry on the old fashioned. That's
No
what it is.
shit.
Hell, maybe
You started it.
created that.
Hey, dude,
I
that was in
wondered where that
1989.
came from.
That was in 1989. Who knows? It could have been me.
That's fucking
No, the old fashioned
crazy.
and Manhattan came up way before.
They
that.
call it old fashioned for a reason.
That's crazy. That's funny. That's good
It was
shit.
funny, but those are experiences that food and beverage folks, they gravitate to because that's real life stuff. You meet people like in service industry, period, and this can go on to other conversation. You got people in Walmarts that you got the Walmart shoppers in there. They just fucking go ballistic. They get angry about
Crazy.
something. It's the service industry. You walk in, they're trying to buy something, and they want to know some information. You don't have it. You got to refer to somebody. They're hot. They're short. You don't know what kind of life they're going through. They could be super stressed out, and all of a sudden they just lash out at the person that works there. That happens all the time.
Oh,
I
The
know.
best piece of advice I ever got working in service industry, because you see people who get so worked up over like a stiff tab or a shitty guest, customer, whatever, just somebody being shitty with them, is never ever take any of that shit personal, because every single person is going through their own shit. So just because they didn't tip you doesn't mean that your service was bad, doesn't mean that they didn't like you. They, that was the best piece of advice.
That's
I see
either
people
the
who let that
culture
ruin
they
their
grew
night.
up with.
Which is it. People let it ruin their night, People let it, one bad table, one bad guest ruin their entire night, and then it translates into all the other people who sit with them or they take care of having bad service because they are in a bad mood or have a bad attitude because of one person ruined their night. And I learned to not ever let that shit happen.
So how do we increase the knowledge or the concept of the appropriate ways to treat our servers? And
Make them become servers themselves.
That's
yeah. Well, I mean, it's
just like that lady.
That's not realistic.
Well, I know, but there was a judge there was a lady who caused so much problem, threw drinks at her or did some kind of violence to the lady behind the counter that the judge says, you need to work a shift.
Nice.
And be that person. I don't know if it was for a day or a week or whatever. So you appreciate what they have to go through.
Yeah.
If
the
you can't
nonstop.
force it, though. It's like, how do you make shitty drivers be better drivers? There's not a realistic
You put a
solution
sticker
for
on
that.
it. You put I'm a new driver sticker on there.
I think shitty driving is not a fair comparison, but I could see a little bit of it. But at the same time, it's a matter of respect. It's stuff like that. Is learned behavior. I think that you see your parents act a certain way, and your brother or your sister, and it's something you pick up. And I think that most people just need to fucking clean their own backyard up, and I think that the rest of the world's going to be fine.
I think we start doing caning.
I agree.
Public caning.
Yeah. Instead of getting pulled over and getting a ticket, you get pulled over and they cane you on the side of the street.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay.
There'd be a deterrent.
And they're like, oh my God. Oh, so don't drive like that anymore. Okay, I won't drive anymore like that. I mean, that would be effective, don't you think?
To a certain point.
And then somebody's an asshole at a bar, and then some guy just suddenly appears from the back and goes, caning.
So like
Pulls out
you're
like a big 8-foot.
yeah, and he's like, oh, no. I was just saying that I didn't want the well. I wanted the one.
The problem with that is that like punishment. I'm sorry, like your palate when you are tasting certain whiskeys. Everybody has a different palate or thresholds for different things.
Yeah,
people are gonna have different thresholds for pain.
So some people may like that.
Some people are like, oh, stop it! No. Come on.
Well, not only pain, but also just what triggers certain people. What pisses me off while I'm getting service might not piss you off. Or vice versa.
That's absolutely true. 'Cause
Attitude.
Or people just like, some people just don't flat out give a fuck.
Yeah.
Some
I
people
get
are
it.
like that, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Look, you just bring me my drink. I don't give a fuck. You can have a bad attitude. I get it. I'd have a bad attitude if I were you too. Look at you.
So you and I,
you don't care.
So Jeff, do you ever wait tables?
No.
I never did either. But I worked at a movie theater, so
I worked at McDonald's.
Okay. That counts.
Doesn't
That counts.
No, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
That was my
Well-
first job ever. I worked at McDonald's and I worked at Burger King.
No, I was
15,
behind. I was
14.
on the grill. I wasn't helping people.
I was frontline support at AMC theaters, right? I was doing the cashier.
I sold furniture.
and people would
It's
be all
different though in those situations where you're interacting with somebody or one particular person for 60 seconds. You're doing one transaction versus when you're taking care of somebody at a bar or at a table and you're serving them for an hour and a half, or at the bar hours on end.
True.
It's just a different interaction.
No, you're
because
right.
if they're in a fucking drive-through and they're being assholes, they're gonna drive off. Granted, they could do some outlandish.
Oh, they're going to shoot at you.
Yeah.
Shoot at you.
They could throw your
Yeah.
drink back.
Dump
through the
their
window.
drink.
That's kind of more what
I think
Dude,
I've done
that's
almost.
I never had that happen though.
That's
That never
messed
happened to
up.
me.
I've seen
messed
it.
up. I know.
I've seen that happen.
Really?
I feel like all the videos I've seen that happen were like staged.
No,
Hold on.
it
You
could be.
saw somebody do it?
No, it's on a video.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I thought you were working at McDonald's back then.
I
You were
never
like
saw
serving
that
on the
happen,
grill,
yeah.
flipping shit.
Yeah.
People walk in, they're like,
But you know
"Bitch."
what? And when I was at McDonald's, I was 16. We were dicks, and we would poke holes. We had little name tags with the pin on there. And me and my buddy Jeff Lon Sushi we worked there. And I don't know who came up with the idea, but we poked small holes in the bottom of all the cups.
Oh my God!
So
What
when they
the-
I
got
love
it,
that.
it would
Honestly,
leak.
that's fucking awesome.
It would leak.
No,
And we did it to all the
Just
drive-through
slowly.
ones.
Just
And we did it to the
Is that
drive-through
why every
cups.
time I get a broken lid, like that
Dude.
makes so much more sense
You just
now?
get stupid-ass kids.
dude. The next time I'm in a drive-through, I'm dumping my drink through the window.
And what's funny is
Just because of you. Just because of you and what you did to so many people.
And what's funny is we got caught. She didn't know who did it, but finally, someone finally came in and complained. Says there's a hole in the bottom of my cup, and she looked. There's a little hole. So she went to the drive-through and starts. She goes, "Well, this one has it too." These all. Well, her face turned red, and she turned around and looked at all of us, and she's like, "Who did it?"
And
That's a
Jeff's
defect.
like, he did.
No, we're all just giving that stupid look. Well, I don't know what happened there.
Who hurt you, Jeff? Why would
I
you
don't
do
know.
something like that?
What an
was-
angry
it was sick.
individual.
God, that's so angry.
No, it
You
was
just
fun.
took,
It was fun at
you
the
wanted
day.
you wanted the world to suffer.
Back then, apparently.
God.
Yeah.
Can we talk about something real quick since you talked about McDonald's? I saw something the other day that just kind of blew my mind. I saw a comparison of, maybe you could pull this up, of prices of McDonald's or just fast food in general, and how, back in the day, granted I'm a little bit younger than y'all, but we had the dollar menu. You had 99-cent double cheeseburgers,
yeah.
this and
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You could do
Yeah.
a Big Mac meal, full meal for $4.99 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And the comparison, do comparison to 1995. Price comparison 1995. And it was baffling. It was like, what was $4.99 then is $14.99 now, and it's like a
It's ridiculous.
500% increase.
Insane.
And he was breaking down all of
All
it.
right,
It wasn't
so-
just McDonald's.
So in 1970, we sold $6 billion in fast food. In the year 2000, we sold $110 billion.
That's so freaking insane.
Dude, that is crazy. So, I mean, is it justified because of
That's
inflation?
that's less money than we sent to Ukraine.
That's how they justify it, but it's not
Are we-
accurate. It
yeah.
hasn't lined up with, because that was what they were comparing
Exactly.
in the breakdown, was comparison actual inflation with the inflation of fast food specifically.
So here's my
Yeah, well,
problem.
Nasty looking.
Here's my problem with the whole inflation thing.
21 cents.
As soon as somebody says, "Oh, inflation," like as soon as they set the expectation that everything's going to be more expensive, I felt like all these companies jumped on the bandwagon and deliberately increased their prices because they could get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it was. Yep.
Yeah, because
Yep.
everybody
Yep.
is expecting it to be more expensive, and they're not gonna
Yep.
not gonna ream them, right, politically or through social media or whatever. They're not
There
gonna
we go.
ream them for raising their prices because
Wait, what year
everybody's
was that? Oh, there we go. 1995.
that's bullshit, right?
Average burger, look, McDonald's 85 cents, Burger King 99, White Castle
In
30,
what year? What year?
95.
95.
That's
Holy
so
shit.
insane. That was not that long. That's less than 20 years ago.
95? That was 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
2018, your burger cost
That's
an
not
average of-
accurate though. That's average in the world then. And the thing he just pulled up was showing the different prices. That was something too that they showed was the prices from around the world, and in the United States specifically, it is significantly higher than most McDonald's around the entire world.
Right. Dude, that's
So
Go
you
to
know
the
what?
other one. Go to the one that
thing-
showed the map.
that's,
and the
that's
thing
frustrating.
Top right.
about all this
Map.
food is that it's so fucking unhealthy for you.
Oh well, yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, it
and that's
isn't.
always been the case. But
I disagree.
please defend. please explain.
Because
it's got lettuce.
it's loaded
tomatoes.
with protein and
Yes.
that's all I got.
Complex carbs.
That's really it.
No. We all know it's unhealthy for us.
But it's so
I mean, the
This
top.
doesn't look too
a
bad.
treat
So
every
are you
now
guys
and
familiar
then.
with the top 10 unhealthiest fast foods?
oh, God.
That's all unhealthy.
Well, up to the
Let me
top
guess.
10.
Wendy's
I
is
know-
number one.
I'm
I
gonna
know
start-
Chick-fil-A was way higher than I
I'm-
wanted it to be, and I was
I'm going to start with
disappointed.
the 10. I'm going to go through this list quick because I don't need to take up. But the top 10 unhealthiest fast foods is
Start at 10.
the makeshift
Chick-fil-A.
project. Number 10, Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
Okay.
Number
So
9,
disappointed with
number 9,
that.
Little Caesars.
oh yeah.
Number 8, Smash Burgers.
Okay.
Number 7, McDonald's.
Not bad
I think they'd be
actually.
higher, yeah.
Number 6, Quiznos.
Where's Quiznos? It closed
They
in Texas.
closed here, yeah.
Number 5, KFC. Number 4, Dairy Queen.
Oh God.
Number
Not a fan of
3,
Dairy Queen
Taco
food.
Bell's coming up.
number 3, Taco Bell.
Yep. I was like, it's coming.
Number 2, Sonic. And what do you think the number one is?
Wendy's.
It is Wendy's.
That's bullshit.
You said that to us.
Yeah, I know.
And I said, I'm going for Whataburger because it's not on that list.
It is. It's number 11.
That's right. Which means, no, it's completely healthy.
Yes, it's healthy.
It's health food.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. If I'm gonna have to do the fast food stuff, it's
What are they
It's gotta be
basing?
Whataburger.
I want to know what they're basing it on. Because I love Wendy's.
Look, I'll tell
I
you
like
what.
Wendy's.
I'll tell you one thing that I know for a fact, and this wasn't a meme. This was science. This was the
God.
Chick-fil-A. They have like the Chick-fil-A sandwich has 42 ingredients in the Chick-fil-A sandwiches that are not that are man-made. 42 ingredients that are man-made.
Yeah, but you're basing it on the spice they put on the chicken on the breading.
No, there's shit
preservatives.
there.
There's
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. Look,
That's why it tastes so good.
there's 42 chemicals in the Chick-fil-A sandwich to help preserve it, help it last longer, to give it flavor.
I need proof.
I'm not going to do proof. I mean, right now, but I'm just saying there is. Let's just say it's not 40. It is, but let's just say it's not. It's all the preservatives and fake stuff they're doing it's the flavors.
You just gave me a great idea. Have y'all seen the thing where they have the McDonald's burger that they've had in a plastic case for 40 years or whatever?
Hold on, we haven't even talked about the bourbon, the Lady Bird.
All right, so look, let's jump headfirst into this, gentlemen. Let's all lift our glasses. Let's do a cheers to Mr. James out here from Garrison Brothers. I love all of you.
Something's wrong with my.
Oh.
What in the fuck is going on?
I poked a hole in the bottom. It leaked everywhere.
Oh man, it's like your boyfriend.
Wow, I empty. We're gonna have to
Go
fix
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
Can you give
Go ahead.
just a small pour? Just a small 1 ounce. Good.
I want to see the McDonald's test with a Chick-fil-A sandwich, though, because I have seen exactly what you're talking about with the ingredients and the McDonald's burger that's been sitting for 30 years and looks the exact same.
From what I understood, Chick-fil-A was the worst.
So it's the 10th worst.
It's it's
The list you just read.
but it's the worst on them for particular foreign ingredients or man-made ingredients. That's what
I
probably
don't
should
care. I'm still gonna eat my favorite.
Oh,
say. The Whataburger. All right, hold on.
Whataburger and Wendy's.
Let's
and
chill
whatever.
out. So the Garrison brothers, Mr. James brought Lady Bird.
Lady Bird Johnson.
Here, take this motherfucker and read it.
So tell us about this one. This is our second one of the night, and
Yes.
The nose is amazing.
It's
It really is. This is above and beyond.
So, y'all have all had the honeydew bourbon that we do.
correct.
So this is essentially our honeydew bourbon, but at cask strength at 114 proof, and then finished in a wet cognac XO barrel.
Hold on. So the honeydew.
That's the yellow wax.
Yes.
But what exactly is that?
It's honey.
I'm glad you asked. Yeah. So it's actually a very complicated process we do on that. Nobody does that quite like us. And I remember the first time I tasted y'all on it, and you were like, oh, this is not what I expected. And that's the general reaction. So with the honeydew, we take our used barrel staves, we chop them up into little cubes. We send them over to Burleson's Honey and Waxahachie. You can buy their honey at the store anywhere around here. They soak those cubes in a honey and bourbon mixture for about a week, dry those out, send them back to us. We put them in a big cheesecloth and steep it in and out of that bourbon for about 7 months, kind of like brewing tea.
So when you steep it in and out, what's the process of that?
Yeah, what's that look like? You have an
Like,
open barrel?
Tea bag.
No, it's a tank. It's a big tank. So it's
Okay.
not when it's in the barrel. And it's a big, like,
So
gasoline type
is this
tank.
before the barrel process or after?
After.
Okay.
And it's steeped in and out, and Donis is tasting it and saying, okay, this one's ready. Okay, no, it needs a little bit more. Drops the bag back in until it gets that flavor just right, and then we proof it down.
So Burleson Honey uses bourbon and honey. They're using your bourbon, I guess?
Yes,
Okay.
cast strength. Because if you were to try to just put wood and honey, what do you think is going to happen? The wood's too viscous. It's not going to absorb into those wood cubes.
Right.
So when you blend it with that honey, that high alcohol content, it breaks down where it actually can absorb into it. And if you, the next time y'all go to the distillery, you should ask for those honeydew cubes, because they have them in a jar just as a sample, and you can smell them. And it's like wood cubes you can cook with, essentially. And everybody wants them. Everybody wants to buy them. I think they sell bags of them occasionally, but yeah.
So
Like
let me read
like
the
smoke it, use it for smoking
Yeah,
and stuff?
exactly. Yep.
let me read the Garrison Brothers tab here for the crafting Ladybird Bourbon, a tribute to nature and elegance. The creation of Ladybird Bourbon is a testament to the dedication and passion of Nancy Garrison, co-founder of Garrison Brothers Distillery, and master distiller Donis Todd. Inspired by the legacy of its namesake, Lady Bird Johnson, this exceptional bourbon honors her commitment to the environmental and native wildflowers. To this craft, this masterpiece, Donis begins with our Texas straight bourbon whiskey aged 4 to 5 years in a white new oak barrel, and then infuses it with the Burleson's wildflower honey for 8 to 9 months. Crafting the exquisite cast-strength honeydew, the honey-infused bourbon is further aged in exceptional French cognac XO cask, which we want to chat with for a second, and for additional 3 years, resulting in a harmonious blend of unparalleled flavors. And tribute to Lady Bird's blah, blah, blah. So anyways, this is fantastic. So talk to us about that, the French cognac XOs. How do you guys procure those? You just went over there and knocked that out?
Donis literally goes and handpicks these barrels that we buy. So with our port wine barrels, we used to go through a specific winery, and he started going to different wineries every year, different providers, and picking out those barrels every year. So he goes and handpicks and says, this one will be good, this one will be good, no, this one, and he handpicks those barrels. And the thing that I thought was really interesting when I was working with him was he uses wet barrels, so the barrels are not dried out. So that's something that really imbues that flavor, that rich flavor.
What do they fill them with? Like the house water they have there?
Yeah, how they stay wet. What does that mean?
With the alcohol, right?
It just means it's basically as soon as
P. Diddy oil.
Oh.
Little baby oil from
Right.
P. Diddy's closet.
No, they
Yeah.
just dumped
Cut
it,
that.
and they're still wet inside,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
exactly. Just freshly used barrels. So it's a finished bourbon. It's a cognac finished, and then like the Guadalupe is a port wine barrel finish. So they're just fresh. They're freshly used barrels for whatever spirit they had in them.
Meaning they're actually pulling in that liquid.
Exactly. There's still liquid in them.
Oh yeah, and pulling
that
it out
you
of
can
the
pull.
wood
Yep,
and
yep.
everything.
And then it infuses that, and that's why this flavor comes out so killer.
How does
Really
he
does.
How does he come up with this shit?
Donis is a fucking wizard. He is.
I mean, that's random. This whole honeydew, like
Yep.
steeping
He's
thing.
an elixir specialist.
Exactly. That's one way to put it. Yeah, he does things, and that's another reason why, we were talking about like the mash bill and all the barrels and everything kind of being the same. For all I know, he has experimental shit that we have no idea about.
All right, let's gather our senses, guys. Let's take some.
Okay, hold on. What was the proof?
This one is 114. So the Balmorhea we just tasted is 115, and that's why I really wanted y'all to taste them side by side. Because the Balmorhea has been my favorite for a long, long time, and then I had Lady Bird, and Lady Bird, I was like, this is a very close
Well, I
contender.
think the Lady Bird is even easier to drink than
Yes.
the Balmorhea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
that
I'm,
honey-
And it's
Absolutely,
1
yep.
point,
I'm agreeing.
1 point,
but
0.5%.
the 94 had more of a burn than this, I
Yeah.
think.
As you take your first sip, true decadence unfolds on the palate. Rich taste of warm buckwheat pancakes,
I wonder,
dark chocolate.
I wonder if that honey is
Ah.
what causes it to
Amazing.
smooth out like it
Combination of that and the cognac barrel.
does. Yeah.
Both of them.
Dark chocolate covered cherries and malted milk balls. The complex profile also includes indulgent essence of cognac cherries, dried figs, plums, offerings of luxuriously unique tasting experience.
Man, I tell you,
This is good, man.
I'm impressed. I really am.
Malted milk balls.
It's got
Malted milk balls and frozen fudgesicle bars.
Yeah.
God bless.
Hey, and y'all didn't rate the Balmorhea, so y'all have to rate both of these right
Yeah.
now. So we need
So-
2 scores.
So these are at 115. Let's say
All right, Mr.
115.
Producer, where were we at first? We're doing the Balmorhea first, or we do both? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do the Balmorhea first. The Balmorhea was incredible. I'm going to give that an 8.5.
This is a higher proof.
This is
Yes.
not the Balmorhea.
Well, I know.
No. But your point is, we're in a new category
We're
of
the-
yeah,
rating.
we're not in the 90.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So I give the Balmorhea just like I did the single barrel. The single barrel.
Yeah.
I think the Balmorhea I like better, so I'm going to go that with a 9.1.
For the Balmorhea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it that much.
Damn. Okay. I'm going to go with an 8.7 on the Balmorhea.
What's the highest score y'all have ever done in this category?
In comparison in that category.
I think some of the rare character out there. Well, that's actually different. That's 130, right?
Okay.
No, it's
So that's in a different
True
category.
barrel
But
proof,
that's
But the latter one, the Lady Bird, is going to be right up to what we're normally kind of producing. Our sweet spot for our whiskeys is 115, right around that area. That's our
Right.
sweet spot.
Yeah.
That's we gravitate to that. So
Okay, so what's your rating for Balmorhea? Did you already say?
Yeah, I said
8.5?
8.3. I think. What did I say? 8.3 or 8.5?
8.5.
8.5. 8.591.
Okay.
You.
Right. Yeah, mine was what? 8.7. What did I say?
8.7. Yep. 8.7. Yep.
8.7.
Yep.
All right. So now we're moving on to Ladybird.
Yes.
All right.
This is absolutely unique. This is absolutely. It's botanical. I mean, that's the kind of the word I can come up with. It's a botanical taste. You know, it's got like the flower tulip, sweet honey from the nectar of a flower.
The honeysuckle.
The honeysuckle. Yes, that's what I taste. That's why I bring up botanical. It's totally got that. I'm wrapping this Lady Bird into a 9.1. 9.2, 9.1. 9.2. I'll do 9.2. Fuck it. I'm in.
Interesting. I think we're the opposite here, where I think this is like an 8.7 for me. I still love it. Don't get me wrong, but I like the Balmorhea better.
In this category, and this is rare for me because we've done rare character in this category, I'm giving it a 9.0.
There you go.
I don't give 9.0s.
All of it's very, very good. Very high.
This is, to me, more enjoyable even than the Balmorhea.
So what is the high? Back to the question. What was the
Austin,
highest score
think-
y'all done in this category?
Probably 9.2, 9.1, 9.2.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I
This
think
is outstanding.
yeah,
So good.
it is.
That's why it's a once a year. The Ladybird is once a year, and this is only the second year we've done it.
All right, so what is that? Where does this come about? How do we determine? Did we already talk about that?
How to get it?
No, I mean not how to get it, but where did it come from? I mean, why did you guys come up with that?
So they, the Garrisons were good friends with the Johnsons, with Lady Bird Johnson and her daughter, and they decided that they wanted to do something special to commemorate Lady Bird Johnson, and that's where the name came from. They got approval
Man.
from the family, and
And
this
it is
was what they decided to go
what
with
a
for it.
classic way to represent them too. Like,
Yep.
And a classy woman,
Yes, exactly.
Lady Bird Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Very classy woman.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Well,
Wow,
look-
this has been a fun podcast, man.
I enjoyed it.
it wasn't off the rails.
No, it was. We were in control.
We've had some off the rails.
I believe it.
That shit
So,
happened.
so I normally reserve this for the green room, but what'd you think, James? This is your first podcast ever.
I
What'd you
loved
think?
it, man. I enjoyed it. I could go keep going.
We're gonna
Well,
do
we
a
got
third
room for
part
you.
three.
We've got room for you. You can come back. You want to bring a friend? We can do that. Look, it's October 10th, 2024. Mr. Producer, as usual, you do a great job in here. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Dudes Like Us -podcast. Dudes Like Us -woodcraft. If you're interested in buying some swag from us. We are just regular folk talking shit about life, and we're excited about life. We're also concerned. We are blood heart Texans, and we're very scared about this this election that's coming up. Right?
Yeah.
We got November 5th as election day. We recommend all the people out there register to vote and vote for your heart.
Do not take anything for granted. Like if you, whatever you feel, go vote because your vote
That's
matters.
right. It does matter. And we want you to vote for the right things. Let's focus on policy and not the two dim rods. Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I'm Jeff.
James.
We're out.
Cheers.